Thank you, AC. Appreciate everybody being on here this morning. Before I start talking about Miami and everything, I just want to give a shout out to our crowd this past weekend against Tennessee State. It was a great crowd, a great student atmosphere. You guys were loud, very appreciative. Our players enjoyed it. So I just want to give you guys, everybody that came to the game, a shout out, and hope you enjoyed what you saw. So, but really fired up about this opportunity that we have this week, playing University of Miami, a storied program in the history of college football. Just a great tradition, great legacy of players that have played there. They're ranked 25th, I think it is, in the country right now. And it's an excellent football team. They're 2-1. They're very talented, obviously, on both sides of the ball. They're extremely athletic, extremely fast. They've got great size, can run at every position. And so it's be a great opportunity for us, a great challenge for us. But, man, I can't tell you how fired up we are, excited about the opportunity to go down there. Today's our day off, like I always say, but we'll come back tomorrow, ready to go, man, because we're really excited about this. So turn it over to you guys.
Hey, Coach. Cecil Joyce here.
Good morning, Cecil.
Morning. Coach, obviously Texas A&M has some success last week containing Miami's offense. Obviously, Texas A&M is a very talented team, but what did you see from that game that you hope your team can kind of replicate a little bit in this game?
Well, I think the biggest thing, those are two evenly matched teams yesterday or Saturday. Very physical game. Texas A&M did a really good job of tackling in space. When Miami, their receivers, their running backs got out there, they did a good job of that, and they kept the ball in front of them. They didn't give up, a lot of explosive plays. So that's going to be critical for us this week. We've got to tackle their players well. We got to tackle well, and then keep the ball in front of us and make teams go the long way. So I think that was probably the two biggest things that stood out to me as much as anything about Texas A&M's defense.
Morning, Coach. Sam Down here.
Morning, Sam.
On the other side of the ball for Miami, their defense has had a really strong start to the season. What are some of the things that they do really well defensively that cause trouble for opposing offenses?
They're big. They're athletic. They can run. They don't give up big plays. They're athletic. The suckers can fly at every position, so it's a really good defense. They're well coached, do a lot of good things. They put a lot of pressure on you, play a lot of man coverage. And, so it's a very talented defense.
Coach, this is Tim Reynolds with the Associated Press in Miami. How are you?
I'm great, Tim. How are you doing? Thanks for being on.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks for having us. I'm curious. I know you faced Mario a number of times when he was at FIU. Other than those head-to-head meetings, do you have much of a relationship with him at all? Or I know there's probably a respect level there, but I'm just curious if you guys have crossed paths much.
No, not really. Obviously I used to see him a lot more when he was in when we were in St. Conference USA together, and so I used to see him a lot more then at our meetings and all that. I have great respect and admiration for him. He's done a phenomenal job. My daughter worked at the football office at Alabama, and so he was there at that time, and going down there to see my daughter Emily. I'd see him there and talk to him there, but to say that we see each other a bunch or communicate a bunch, we don't.
I had one other follow. It's not really germane to this week, but you are a Nole. You were a Noles quarterback, of course. I'm curious if before Coach Bowden and Howard, there was never, Florida State Miami wouldn't be what it is without Bobby and Howard.
I
Did
agree.
you guys have any inkling at the time, the seeds that you guys were planting? for what that rivalry was going to become?
I don't think so. I mean, you can, it's easy to look back on it now, Tim, and say, yeah, we knew what was happening, but I mean, we were 19, 20 years old and we didn't have a clue. But I do remember Coach Snellenberger and Coach Bowden days, they posed with boxing gloves on there, and Coach Snellenberger would have his pipe and Coach Bowden would have his cigar. Those two guys deserve a lot of respect, probably as much respect as the players on both sides deserve for developing the rivalry that is today of Miami and Florida State. So, but no, we didn't. It was always good games, competitive games, and just Coach Bowden and Howard. Coach Snellenberger, they deserve a lot of credit for developing that rivalry.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. You good? Anything else?
Coach, I was going to touch on something. You guys recruit Florida a lot for a lot of the student athletes that are on this team. How important is a game like this one for maybe giving a chance for some of their family to see them that they wouldn't get to see them otherwise, potentially?
Oh, I think it's, it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat, that normally our Florida kids, we either play Florida Atlantic or Florida International every year in the state of Florida. So now this year we get to, we play UM and FIU in Miami this year. So our Florida families can see their child play in the state of Florida twice this year. So I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. And they don't have to travel as far. So that's always good there. So I know our Florida guys will be, they'll know a bunch of guys on the Miami roster and everything. So it'll be neat for them also.
Anything else for Coach Stock today?
I got one. Hey, Coach, it's Chris Harris at Channel 4.
Hi, Chris. What's happening, my man?
Hello. Just when you look at film of Miami, what do you see specifically?
Probably the biggest thing, Chris, is just their speed. Speed and athleticism at every position. Even their big guys in the offensive line can run. Their defensive ends or defensive tackles are big and athletic, and they can run. And Miami's always had a history of fast linebackers, and that hasn't changed. So just, their speed and athleticism, really jumps off the tape at you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
Anything else for Coach?
Hey, Coach, it's Bob here.
Hey, Bob.
Is this another one of those games you're going to need all three phases again like you had Saturday night?
I don't think you can win a college football game, in this day and time without all three phases playing well. It's teams are too good at any level. And if you don't show up in one of those phases, you'll get exposed. And I think the kicking game, probably magnifies it as much as anything. And just that, you can get back in a game, you can break a game wide open by having a special teams explosive play. We had one last week against Tennessee State, when we blocked a punt and picked it up and scored a touchdown off of it. So when you get special team scores, it's you're stealing a possession and you're scoring points off of it. So it'll be special teams will be very, very critical in this game as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Anything else for Coach?
Appreciate you guys. Have a great week.
All right, guys, now our two student athletes. First, we'll begin with defensive end Jordan Ferguson. Right after Jordan will be quarterback Chase Cunningham. One thing before we get started with Jordan, earlier this morning, he was honored as one of the finalists for the All-State AFCA Good Works team, which is a huge honor for his efforts off the field and in the community. So right now we'll get started with Jordan.
Hey,
Morning, everybody.
Ferg.
How
Hey,
you
Ferg.
doing?
Cecil Joyce here.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Ferg, talk about the offense for Miami. Obviously, their defense has been, the spark for them this season. The offense has been, pretty modest, but obviously they play some really good teams as well. What do you see on film that you guys hope to exploit for them?
Yeah, so from watching them yesterday and this morning, I know they have a really good quarterback who's going to be a good draft pick this year. He can throw. He likes to stand in the pocket a little bit, and he's not afraid to use his legs. I've seen two good running backs who runs hard, who can pick up some blitzes. I know they have a good offensive line up front, very physical, and I know they have two really good tight ends. One, number 85, he's good at receiving and blocking, and number 80 is a real physical blocker, so we got to be ready for that.
Morning, Ferg. Sam down here.
Morning.
I touched on this with some of your teammates post game on Saturday, but we saw the return of that sort of heavy package where you get to run out on offense a little bit. How exciting was it to have that implemented in practice last week and get to see it work on the field against Tennessee State?
It's always fun because go back to camp, man. We always beat each other up, offense, defense, and we get to do something together, because the O-line, D-line basically don't get the chance to get on the field together, and it's just fun to get out there with those guys and, put some points on the boards. And we know they can do it by themselves, but it's just a little fun when we get some D linemen, go out there with the O linemen and push some guys around a little bit. And hopefully we can run it this week a little bit. If not, I know when we run it again, we'll be ready to go. But it's fun. And we shout out to Coach, the offensive coordinator, for letting us do that, Coach Stu.
You were on, I think, the last team here at Middle to go on the road to an ACC team at Syracuse and win. But what are the keys to going into these big road environments and putting together a complete performance where you can get a result like that?
I know one of the biggest things is going to be special teams. I know a team like Miami is going to try to beat us on special teams in every phase, every special team there is. And I know we're going to have to be ready to go. And we're going to have to take a little practice. We're going to have scouts give us some real looks, and we're going to have to go hard and not take those plays for granted, because that's the first place it's going to happen. We got to set the tone on those units. We got to have some energies, and we got to attack it like we're playing offensive defense. And that's going to be the key to winning the battlefield position. And then it's going to translate to offensive defense and making plays. But we got to ignore the noise. It's going to be a loud environment. It's going to be fun. We got some Florida guys go back home. We're going to have family out there. So I'm excited for them to play in front of their families. And we just got to be ready to go and have some more energy this week. It's going to be hard. It's going to take 4 quarters. I know that game went down to the wire back in 2017, and it took a lot. We were all beat up after the game, but you got to leave everything out on the field this week. We're gonna preach that to the guys, and hopefully have a good week of practice and have to work hard.
Anything else for Jordan? All right, Jordan, thank you.
You guys have a great week.
All right, guys, now we'll turn it over to our quarterback, Chase Cunningham.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Chase. Cecil Joyce here.
Hey, Cecil.
Good morning. Chase, you're coming off of a back-to-back really, really impressive offensive outings as a team. You're facing, I think, undoubtedly the best defense you will probably face this season. How do you keep these guys up and keep the momentum going offensively?
Yeah, I think, we just continue what we've done the past couple of weeks, just focus on ourselves and, try and go out there and get better each day. We've had, 2 great weeks back-to-back on offense. So, just keep building on it.
Morning, Chase. Sam Dowden here.
Morning, Sam.
You praised Wilson Kelly's play after last Saturday's game against Tennessee State, stepping in for Jordan Palmer. But what are some of the little things you have to do with a new center during a week of practice to get that right before the game?
Yeah, obviously, that's a big challenge. He's the one that touches the ball every single play. So he's got a very important job. And, I had a lot of trust in him, have a lot of trust in him. And, just a lot of preparation, just working on all the exchanges throughout the week and everything, just make sure everything go right on game day.
A bit of a fun fact for you, Chase. Middle Tennessee is actually undefeated against Miami all time. They're 2-0 against the Hurricanes. I think both those wins were in the 1930s. So a pretty different college football landscape.
Yeah.
But how important are big games like this? For just how much do y'all get up for these types of environments as players?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's probably an environment that not many people on the team have played in. It'll be my second time playing in an NFL stadium. So obviously it's very cool. They're a very talented team. So, like I said earlier, we just gotta go out there and, focus on us and get better each day.
Anything else for Chase? All right, Chase, thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, everyone. Thank y'all for being on today. And remember, we'll be back here next Monday to same time, 10:30 Central, as the Blue Raiders get ready to open up conference play. Thank you.